I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Gary Webb. I am an investigative journalist, and in 1996 I wrote a series of stories entitled Dark Alliance, which was about CIA involvement in drug trafficking.
I knew a man who once said death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back.
We've opened Skull and Bone, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
wild.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest.
Number 322.
I have duty to report this afternoon that my friend and colleague, Tim Russert, collapsed and died early this afternoon.
I may die in this cell tonight or in the arena tomorrow. I am a slave. What possible difference can I make?
And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
What the fuck's up? Welcome to another Already Dead. I'm Jose Galison. I'm joined by our co-host as always, Austin Picard, and we also have Jules, our typically our producer, but we're kind of having him guest today because we're having a big kumbaya because all three of us are going on tinfoil hat tomorrow. So we figured, with that, let's bring young Jules. We can call I didn't even think about it. We never called you young Jules. Because what, young Jamie? Because isn't that what he always calls you, young Jamie?
Young Jamie.
How did we never think of that? Young Jules. There you go.
Tim Tuttle's been calling me Young Jules for a minute now.
Well, well, that works. Perfect. But now Young Jules is the guest today. The reason being is we're all going in tinfoil hat, but get this, separate episodes. So it's not like they're just like Jules getting thrown in with us. It's literally me and Austin doing going hard in the paint, and then following up us as Jules. So honestly, that means likely next week it's probably going to be dominated by Already Dead. Essentially, it's going to be probably Tuesday if I had to guess. I don't know his release schedule, but I'd assume me and you will probably drop on Tuesday, and then Jules will probably drop on Thursday or something like that if I had to guess.
William Ramsey just dropped too on TFH as far as his episode just dropped today.
And I just had him on my show this last Saturday.
Yeah, he's swimming in our circles, dog.
Schizo, man, you're the schizo, brother. Fuck dude, yeah.
We're fucking drawing them deeper and deeper into our circles, dude. That's what we're doing. Fucking loyal to foil, dog. Fucking. Absolutely. But yeah, no, this is gonna be fun, dude. For those who've been paying attention to our morning shows, me and Austin today spent the morning kind of like the little bit cooking up notes, show prep. I thought it was cool. You can kind of see what we're working with and see where it's gonna go, and I think we're shaping up for a pretty damn good episode, like a really good episode. Like if a lot of people said they liked our last episode, but like, dude, now we're actually prepared with notes and like, dude, we're gonna fucking kill. Like we're gonna fucking murder. It's gonna be dope. I know Jules is going to do the same too, because I'm sure you guys are probably going to be talking Anunnaki shit. So, dude, that's right up your alley. You can just fucking drop. And the great thing about like Anunnaki shit, you can just lie. Like no one fucking who the fuck's going to care? Like no one's going to be like, oh, dude, how fucking dare you? You fucking use it. It's actually Hammurabi. You might get some nerds somewhere, but it's like it's not like it's like life or death. You know what I mean? It's not like you're like I'm claiming Gunderson's like doing this when he's actually doing that, or there's this many victims and there's actually that many. You're good, like whatever. You just make up shit,
Well, we're probably going to talk about it a lot. I'm sure they'll ask me about my shows, so I'll tell them a little bit about sound science with me and the Paranoid American, and because him and Sam are friends, they do Chaos Twin comic together.
Ooh, yeah. I forgot you have so many different shows, so you have a lot to talk about.
I have a few, man. Yeah, and then the Elohim etymology, which Adrian's been on Mark's show, and I think him and XG follow each other because they're both Hispanic, or
maybe stick together.
Well, Adrian fights too. He's like a boxer / trainer, so maybe what it was. I don't know. But and then, just about gray pilled, maybe some occult symbolism, some animal symbolism, some occult animal symbolism, talking about some esoteric stuff. So it's going to be fucking awesome, man.
Shit.
I know, man.
Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm not. They're both important.
Top or Raven.
I was teasing you. They're both important, though. I think they're both important for different reasons. The type of stuff you dabble in, because you're more than just Anunnaki. That's just kind of what I really get a lot of that on your channel. But you go into a lot of esoteric occult stuff, and that stuff is important because especially at the tippy top, that's what's going on. So guess who? I already said Raven. Guess who? I mean, if I'm wrong, then it's top. There's only 2 of you, so like whatever. Oh once again, I just lie. Like who cares? 50% chance. That's good enough. Just fucking lie. But yeah, no, dude, it's fucking wild. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, dude, fucking. He also asked what the topic was. I saw Raven. I'm going to go with Raven. I'll show you. Here's our topic right here. This morning we literally just sat and did notes. Just kind of threw together quick little stuff. We're going over Gladio, kind of the idea of how it's kind of the everything conspiracy, as you can see here: Nazi stuff, child trafficking, SRA, MK Ultra, blackmail, serial killers, Scientology, NASA, secret societies. And then we just kind of have all these different examples, like OG Gladio, the original example, JFK, RFK, Operation Phoenix. So you see all the different stuff. Obviously, we're not going to talk about all of this, but it kind of gives us a Rolodex of things to go to. But yeah, so we crafted these notes today. We'll probably do some more tomorrow. So to hone it in. But dude, I'm stoked. It's gonna be fun. I'm really hyped, and it made it even sweeter to know that Jules is following up our act. So
I know, right? That is perfect, honestly.
To be following up your act, guys. I mean, if it wasn't for you guys, me and Sam would have never been acquainted, and I'd still be jerking off on Gray Pill. So
is that what you do over there? I've never actually watched an episode, so no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I've watched it. I've watched like every single one of the Anunnaki ones, and a decent amount of the other ones, depending on the guesses and stuff. So, but it's a pleasure to have you on. We figured there was a few little weird things we want to talk about today too. So feel like you fit right in. By the way, for those who only follow, I guess, just this show and not the not like say our morning shows or whatever, if you do just pop in to check in with us once a week, you may not have known this, but Austin dropped a fucking goddamn documentary that he just did in a fucking week that, I don't know, people spend, I don't know, pay professionals to do for fucking, probably hundreds or thousands of dollars.
Stop it. Man, I had
you say something, Jules?
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah. Luckily, I haven't had.
I didn't know you dropped it.
Yeah, man. When I basically when we texted that day, right? I had I was like entirely focused on trying to get that shit out, and I think it was like last Thursday. I think so.
It was.
I published then, and then I was like, I felt like I wasn't even. I felt like a shell of a human being at that point, and then it was like late as hell, and I get a group text from Brad Binkley who's like, "Hey, when can we do another whatever this is?" And I'm like, fucking so tired, dude. But I'm like, hey, man, I'm here for it. Whatever the fuck, that needs to be done. And so we showed up and did another episode 2 of whatever this is, the paywalled content with Sam Tripoli and Brad Binkley, which has been like the coolest opportunity of all time. And like
the dick had invited me too, but because they've been
they would have been so fun.
They've been doing these. This is exactly what this is.
Shined in that moment too, because the content we covered that night was like
dude.
Fucking yeah.
Like dude, show that y'all are doing.
Yeah, they're doing a paywalled show. They've done it twice now. They've done it twice now, and they've done that. It's just paywall. Yeah, that's all.
Hard W, man. Fuck yeah,
brother. You remember when I took the trip, right? Like I was freaking the fuck out the whole time because I was like worried I couldn't respond. I knew I wouldn't be able to promote the show or the appearance on TFH that we had just done. And then I finally got connection, and I got like a flood of messages and shit. And notifications when I was like on a fucking mountaintop in Mexico, and I finally got some Wi-Fi. It was like it was on the Tuesday, like early afternoon, and I had gotten a text that Sunday from Sam, and it was a group text between me and a number that was unknown, and it was like, would you guys like be down or interested in doing a paywall, premium show or with just premium content for the patrons? And I'm like, dude, first of all, I get the message and it's 2 days since he had sent it, and I was like, I just shit my pants like instantly because I was worried I would miss the opportunity, obviously. Yeah. But still, I just responded right away and was like, man, of course, I would fucking love to. And like, we got to make this happen.
The text you got, I saw the next morning. Well, it was for the second one because I didn't even get the invite for the first one. But whatever, he thought of me for the second one, and I woke up. Yeah. I woke up and I'd been up all night, and I'd actually had been a head cat that gave birth. I try not to give you guys the ins and outs of these, but so I was up at a weird time. I was up really late, and it was like super late, so it was like not normal for me to be up this late. So I was up, laying next to the cat, kind of like helping it, kind of doing what you got to do for that type of stuff. And I saw that you were going on, and then I retweeted it and boosted it, and then I just kind of then kept on going. And then it was basically right when I was finishing up too. So like I was basically done, and I went to bed. And it was late already, and I didn't see. And I didn't get the text probably until I was already asleep. So it was like shortly after I retweeted it. So he probably thought, oh, he's up, because he knows I'm Eastern. And then that was when I fucking like. And then the next morning I wake up and see that text. I was like, fuck.
Right.
But it's like even then I probably just like it would have been like that last episode when we went on, because that was a last minute thing too. Yeah. And like I don't know, you can see me at the end of the episode, like even like there was a promotional like tweet thing I put out recently. You can see I'm like stumbling over my words and like
I'm telling you right now. When I send you, I'll send you after the show. I'll send you the episodes because the second episode is fucking funny. It has to be funny because I'm stumbling a couple of times trying to collect my thoughts because I felt so like just psychologically exhausted, honestly, after publishing that shit.
Dude, a tired you must be like a rhetorical windmill.
It was terrible. I did my fucking best, man. So
I can only imagine. You started too tired to even realize you've been talking for 30 minutes.
Oh man! But luckily, Brad was like stabilizing things and was in a really good mood, so it was fucking funny. But yeah, it would have been fun if you were there.
Yeah, because I find myself even when I'm tired, like say like the morning dumps. There are times where say I've had a crazy night, like or whatever. Say like something like a cat. I'm just tired, and I do find myself just like really rambling. I'll just get stuck on some retarded thing that like 20 minutes later, I'm like, why did I even spend 5 minutes honing in on it? No one gives a fuck about that.
100%. Dude, I always do that. I come correct with like legitimate topics and with credible evidence.
Yeah, then you're like focusing on dumb shit, and then you're like, fuck, I just spent like an hour on this stupid shit and I actually have real stuff to cover, and now I don't even. Sometimes you don't even get to it because you're like, fuck.
Exactly. That is my life, man.
Yeah. So. But yeah, man. Anyway. It's fun. I guess we should probably actually get to some real content. What do you guys want to get into? We talked about it. We have quite a bit to actually get through, which works out because I'm pretty tired. So I've had a rough day. I haven't had water in the house all day, so I've been having to call fucking electricians and well people and stuff to get fixed. But here I am. We got a few things. We got the Cremo shooting, multiple shooters. We got Epstein. I mean, we got Ukraine. We got a lot. We got a lot to go through. So you guys, wherever we want to go, where do you want to go?
For the sake of Jules, we should for sure get into the occult, Enochian Magick definitely. But
does this tie into the satanic silo thing we talked about before, or is that
100%,
okay? Cool. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Amazing. Plus,
which we need to come back to that tomorrow to hone that in for our notes, because I want to get that in, because that is too good not to include that in there. Really is, there's too much that ties into Crowley, NASA, fucking. If you can tie that back to Gladio, like fuck yeah, dude. Like just slip that in there
as well. Which to the Pasadena Lodge, there are too many different individuals that are very prominent within these networks that overlap. Occult Dutro, my friend, for sure. It is honestly, it's just one of the most fascinating things that I've ever explored and researched in my life. Like as far as the network is concerned, the vast clandestine network of Gladio. Yeah,
Gladio. Gladio. That's what it always comes back to.
It's crazy, man. But if we're just to like briefly get past covering something more topical.
Oh yeah, I know. We need to get to topics, and I'm like, oh, look at this. See, she's doing it again. It's so easy to get Jose off topic in the mornings. We're intentionally getting you focused on like a picture on your wall and shit, which they have done. They've literally been like, "That's stupid" or something, and I'll be like, spend 3 minutes, be like, well, I don't know what I like. But yeah, go on. Sorry, cutting you off.
Man. That's too funny. But I figure we might as well like kind of briefly touch on what I view as false disclosure, manufactured fake transparency, which is, essentially the intention behind it, I think, is to manufacture consent at all times. And that is typically the goal, and so you see people like Dan Bongino become, right, appointed. And, man, it's just like, how many of these individuals are we going to get one single person who's not compromised by Israel? And it's just like, I mean, come on, what the fuck is going on? Like, how can we at least not acknowledge that as being a reality, at the very least, and also address the fact that what the media is doing, hanging out this it's a limited hangout, dangling this carrot in front of the public, as far as our perception is concerned in regard to this false disclosure. Get the fuck out of here.
Real quick, Austin, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I did you intentionally change subjects? Because we were talking about the Enochian stuff for Jules, and then you immediately jumped over.
What you want to do, and we can
just go. But I'm just like, what are we talking about here? What's going on? Because you completely mind fucked me. You were like, yeah, let's talk about Enochian Magick, and then you're like, yeah, and then that's like, isn't it so weird how they're not dropping the Epstein files? I'm like, wait, what did I miss?
Well, he's on to something with all this disclosure. They're dropping the Epstein files, all the JFK stuff. It's like they're not gonna give us the actual truth. They'll throw like a few shards of truth in there to get our dicks kind of worked up and a little hard. But no, they're not gonna tell us like, oh yeah, it was.
I don't think I'd use that phrasing given the subject. But our dicks hard.
Well, Israel will not be mentioned. That's for sure.
Oh, right.
So.
Yeah, there's a Middle East country, but yeah, I guess whatever topic you want. I was just very confused. I was like, how is this related to Enochian Magick?
Basically, the only reason that I touched on it was because I knew that once we got a little deeper into that direction, we probably wouldn't necessarily make it back to the more topical references. But who knows?
It was just funny because you're like, oh, let's go on this topic for Jules, and it's like, well, fuck Jules, let's go on to the next topic. Not even gonna let him talk about it.
Nah, man, I got you, Jules. I swear. But I do. I did want to listen to this dude real quick. It's a super short video, but it kind of like it's revealing, right, that this sort of false transparency narrative and how it was kind of revealed to the public as well in this sort of fashion. And I think that at the very least, it's important to acknowledge, and share to to the audience, because look at this dude. Like, honestly, when the way that we cover, I mean, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, dude, the way that
physiognomy is a bitch, dog. Like, I just like literally a glance, and you're like, oh shit, I know what you mean.
That's what I'm saying. Like, look at this dude. But we talk about, we've been mentioning kind of like the oversaturation of the overrepresentation into the alternative media landscape as a sort of misdirection tactic that seems to be siloing the just the public who are fleeing from the mainstream media. They're being siloed back into this controlled narrative. And that's what I think is always something we have to kind of acknowledge as being the case, and we should remain skeptical of, because that is clearly what tends to happen more often than not. But anyway, let's check this out.
Any idea what it is? No idea on what it is. I can only speculate. But you mentioned the Epstein list.
Right,
I imagine it's cases.
Pause it. Sorry, I needed a second. We need to back it up because I already was like, oh my god, like even just talking and was blown away. Just like it's like a fucking, I don't know, video game, and someone's like fucking Kamehameha, but it's only stars of David's coming at me. This is aggressively Jewish.
Is Benny on fucking like Colosopam or something? What's wrong with him?
Who?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, he just faded.
He usually is very high energy. Like he's very like coked out. Like whoa.
Yeah. Fucking, he's in there.
absurdly Jewish.
Absolutely.
I mean, I will say his voice isn't absurdly Jewish. It's like, but like you can just there's that like tinge, or like I hear it.
The kvetching coming.
Yeah, but it's not like kvetching. It's not to that extent, at least. Like you know, where they're like. Like the kind of like, and then they have like a weird rhythm to their voice, kind of. It's not quite
start
there.
Rocking and
like you can almost feel the rhythm a little bit, like they want to, like that's almost the feeling you get when they.
Well, they know they can, and no one can say anything, or you're.
They're ready to code switch at any moment, go to full kvetch.
Absolutely.
this is them trying to white it up. You know what I mean? It's like when you have a black friend that like really can't code switch, and he's just like still sounds pretty. You're like, okay, I know this isn't how you talk around your black friends, but you still sound really fucking black.
Oh my god, man, that's too fucking funny.
Yeah, that's what this sounds like. But all right, let's go ahead and play. I'm done making fun of him. Let's actually get some substance.
That's too good, though.
Any idea what it is?
No idea on what it is. I can only speculate. But you mentioned the Epstein list. I'd imagine it's cases like that. It's intel cases that are very siloed, very secretive, and I'm sure there's probably even information regarding the FBI's own subversive measures against Americans, against American politicians, for instance. We learned over the last few days that
take any of this fucking serious. You gotta be fucking. This is like a parody. This is like a parody of life. Really like you're like, oh, we're gonna fucking. Hey guys, we're coming in. We're gonna expose the Epstein files, and then they're going. And the next thing you know, like, oh, fucking some Jew comes out. And you're like, oh, we can't. Oh, we're deleted. Oh, somebody deleted them.
It's so ridiculous.
Like what? You gotta be, like at least march out somebody who looks differently. Like you gotta have some common sense, and I'm like, come on, have some wherewithal. Like, come on, because let's be real, this guy isn't like some real whistleblower. Like, fucking get the fuck out of here.
He's not, man. Like, my god, you think Sean Ryan's a good example? Like this fucking guy is. You know what I mean? Like the standard.
It's like Sean Ryan's like, come on, he's clearly a vet. Come on, he's clearly a Jew.
Right. Oh shit, man.
Was bugged, and they took out the Resolute desk to inspect it more. Who's doing that type of thing, Benny? It's going to be if they're operating.
Who's doing that, man? I can't even do a Jewish accent.
It's going to be the FBI because they're the domestic agency. Now, is it beyond the CIA or NSA playing a role? No, not at all. Because I think all of these agencies at this point do not have the best interest of the American public in mind. That's something that the Trump administration is trying to change. But it's going to be an uphill battle, I believe, for the entire term.
Any idea what it is?
Hey, man, he's doing his job, all right? He ran with his talking points. He's doing his best, all right? Give him a break, guys.
You just got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
What? Like, I really just want to, like, go... I really just want to stop the show, go find this video... You know, save it, just tweet it, and just put. You gotta be fucking kidding me. That's all my commentary is on this. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That is just one of the most ridiculous things. But of course, we have Anna Paulina Luna. You know, she's going back on the.
I hate a Paulina. It's just it's all these fucking whores in Congress that fucking every day or every other day they tweet out something that's like, what would you like the Trump administration to expose next? And you're like, just fucking drop some fucking documents and shut the fuck up.
Anything.
Like,
yeah,
100%.
Like I don't need your commentary. It's just annoying at this point. It's just whores chasing around for Twitter clout. That's it.
Right. And isn't it so funny? It just like it fits so perfect as far as the false disclosure narrative is concerned to kind of like.
That's a pretty good comment.
If I drew a picture of him, I'd be arrested in Germany. Oh my God, of an anti-Semitic hate crime. Yeah, absolutely, man. 100%. But don't worry. The new German chancellor or prime minister or whatever the fuck his name is, he's inviting Netanyahu, despite the ICC charges, right, and warrant that's out for him. So, you know, that Germany's going to crack down on any sort of free speech in their own country while they invite a genocidal maniac, right, to prop him up in the public spotlight. It's just so
return to tradition.
Right. Meanwhile, they're arresting people for like teaching their dog how to do a Zig Heil. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so stupid.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Ireland.
Oh, I actually have as one of the tabs. Actually, no, I don't have it up. But there's that story over in Canada right now too, and I don't know if you saw that, but it looks like you're about to bring something up. So that one dude who fucking just talked a little. I think he talked a little bit of shit, and it's like they're like saying he's harassing, and I don't know. We can come back. Let's watch this. Let's see what this slut has to say.
I actually just met with the National Archives, and even they said that they're actually weeding out people at the archives that were obstructionists. And so President Trump definitely getting in, I would argue, has saved the country. We would not have known how bad it was had he not taken the executive branch. But again, it's alarming, it's disheartening, and I fully back my words that I said earlier that what the CIA is talking about right now, if people sell secrets to a foreign government, you will be charged with treason. So do not do that. Do not burn documents. You will be held accountable. We will find you. So just don't even do it.
Find you.
Let you guys know
so you can run and tell that.
God, you can just tell how stupid she is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how like you hear some people talk and you're like, that fucking person's dumb. Like like she I mean, she only got one word wrong. I mean, but just something about the way she says the words, you just know that's not backed up by like critical thinking in any way. You know, like there's no deeper thought there. These are the words I'm going to say. Like that's all it is. Yeah, man. Yeah, she's. I mean, she's cute though. I'll give her. But she's a. What is she? She's a. They sell her as a Latina, but she's in reality like a fucking German Jew or something. Like yeah. She changed her name, some shit. And she used to be a stripper too, or no? Yeah. Didn't you guys establish she worked at the thing, or maybe that was me that said?
Oh
that.
no,
I don't know.
she was a stripper, man. Like straight up. Yeah. And then she became like a. One of those pretty face influencers right afterward, because she at least had some sort of like ability to like intellectually enough rich, and then you combine that with sort of the physical characteristics necessary to kind of make some sort of impact, and there you go. And that's where I think you have this sort of like new influencer factor involved in this current administration, which really Biden as well, right? I mean, it kind of has been in the recent past where they've sort of really kind of exploited and leveraged the influencer framework to their own advantage and benefit, and I would say primarily to really probably kind of like and what did this have to do with Jules and his occultic knowledge? Didn't somebody say something about "fuck you, Firepigs"? Why are you up my ass?
We're only 30 minutes deep.
I'm
pretty sure you said like 15 plus minutes ago, and then just to pass it off to Jules.
hey, we're supposed to cover topical things as well.
We do a morning show that we could rearrange this and come back to tomorrow. It's not like we have another opportunity to cover these things.
Events? Fuck
fuck current events. Tell me about this weird fucking satanic missile silo. How do you keep fucking telling me about gay ass fucking Dan Bongino and his other little faggot friends? Like, can you just fucking tell me about the fucking satanic missile silos, please?
How dare you guys, man? It's a fucking coup d'etat in here, man. All right, so I guess I will get into the here's how I want to introduce this. First of all, because you have basically this morning, Jose and I forget who brought it up in the chat, but they had brought up the satanic ritual site in the Florida Everglades that was discovered by the Python hunter, Python cowboy, who
I remember that video.
Who went on Rogan and had this like I'll never forget. I watched that episode and I remember.
By the way, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to let everyone know YouTube just removed the stream from my channel. The reasoning being, this is the second time their stupid fucking fucks have done it. I will protest it, and I'm almost certain they'll give it back, because it was this is how fucking retarded these stupid fucks are. This is once again, it's for content that discusses or depicts suicide or self-harm in a graphic, blah, 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 blah. It's literally, and then they sent me a follow-up email. It's like, need help, you're not alone. It's not a strike. Literally, it's the second time they thought it was for fucking suicidal content, and it's not a strike. They send you a follow-up email to check on you, like, we removed you because we're concerned about you. You don't get a strike, and it's so I'm going to have to complain to them. It's literally just because our show is called Already Dead. That's how fucking stupid they are. No. Yep. So
yeah, man, that's the problem with the AI overlord as well.
Yes.
You know, yeah,
fucking idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Take it literally.
Yeah,
fucking dumbass.
All right,
So yeah, this Python cowboy dude went on Rogan, right, and he tells this story that is like it resonated with me. It stuck with me, man. Like I never forgot it, and it was one of those things where I instantly went back and I looked up. It's still on Austin's channel. Hell yeah, man. I don't know how that's working, but I'm down for it. But anyway, so basically this guy appears on the Rogan Experience and he shares this insane story about stumbling across this ritual deep in the Everglades while he's hunting the invasive python species at the time. And so his name is Mike Kimmel, I believe, is the name of Python Cowboy. And so he puts basically he's like, dude, it was such an interesting episode. It is worthwhile like going to watch the entire thing. But basically he comes across this infamous abandoned Aerojet rocket test facility one night. And this was in April of like 2019. And he basically he took pictures of it as well, which I found interesting because the pictures for sure at the very least resemble red spray paint. So I hope, I wasn't there to confirm myself, but I hope that it was only red spray paint and it wasn't actual blood that was discovered at this place. But he first spots these baby dolls, right, that had their eyes gored out and inverted crosses ashed on their foreheads. And another thing was, which is super fucking weird, but essentially there were all these pentagrams and things like that, but also there's this scarlet snake connection, which it was when he discovered the scarlet snake, it was bleeding out of its anus. All right. And it's like, dude, when you, brother, this is what I fucking like was so disturbed at earlier on the morning stream whenever we were discussing Dutroux, right?
Yeah.
Because they essentially spoke about Bernard Weinstein, who was buried alive, right, by Dutroux on one of his properties, like murdered and buried alive. But he of course, was an associate of Dutroux until murdered, helped him procure all these children, was murdered in 1995. But
hey, pause real quick. Sorry, don't mute Dick. I just want to let you know, I see somebody in the back. If you're hanging out for the video, yeah, hang on. Hell yeah, dude, we got someone in the back. So just stay put.
Man, what's up,
in about 10 to 15 minutes, we'll swap over to the call-in portion, and we'll fucking get you in, bud. Let us know in the private chat if you're just one of those weirdos that just likes to watch. Because we have some of
fine as well.
That's fine. I mean, you can sit in the corner and watch. That's fine with me. If anything, gets me a little more excited.
That.
So
we need to start. Yeah, for real. We need to start suggesting that and encouraging people to do it. Honestly, as a perk, like we might as well at this point.
They said it's because our YouTube stream shut down, so they just hopped over here. Okay, cool. Well, you also have the option too. When we get in the call-in portion, you can come on and shoot the shit with us. So I don't know if you got a fucking. But yeah, anyways, sorry. Back to the Dutroux stuff, and I think at some point we'll get Jules to say something about occult stuff or something.
We will. I just gotta get there, man. God, guys, like what the fuck?
Okay, I'm
You're building me up.
I know.
Filling you up.
But so, of course, the Bernard Weinstein murdered in 1995. Annie Booty, I hope she's the former girlfriend of Michelle Nihul. And she apparently, Bernard Weinstein sometimes walked around with a snake at abuse sessions, which they used to rape the girls with, which is just one of the most disturbing fucking things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I remember when I covered it on my show a while back. There was a super long article I did that was like, and I did in the morning dump, but I did something in the almost damn near 20 parts because that's how long it was, and it was like in 30-minute increments. And yeah, I remember they went to this, I believe, snake stuff in there. That was probably one of the hardest slogs I had to get through. I did it totally backwards though, because now I'm doing like the somewhat shorter ones, whereas with this insane one, I didn't retain any of that information. But now I'm now I'm retaining it more because I threw way too much at myself all at once before I even really wrapped myself around it. Whereas I've in the past like couple weeks, really kind of wrap myself around what was going on there and kind of understand it better. But yeah, because I just threw way too much in my fucking head all at once. But yeah, that was a stomach churning slog through some, especially going through the details. Is like in some of the more detailed articles where they get really into the nitnoid stuff. Like if you think the shit we've been talking about the past couple weeks is rough, like if you really get in the details of Dutroux stuff, you're like, dude, what the fuck,
Yep.
Ugh.
Brother, I've never been more affected in my life after reading the X dossier. Like I fucking cried. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Do you actually read the whole X dossier yourself?
Yes.
How many different X's are there? I know I've gone up to 4. I don't know if there's anything more than that.
Yeah.
I think there's more than that.
I can't recall the number, honestly, man.
And so you've seen, because I know it's obviously, how extensive
Brother,
was it?
Man, I saw pictures and I got really worried I was gonna get in trouble.
Oh
just because
yeah,
I
dude.
saw the
Even
fucking
like
pictures.
there was in that one that like the article one, there were some pictures like I don't know. Yeah, but anyways, let's keep.
No, it's fucked up, man. But
See,
that's the other problem.
to give me the dick.
Wow.
Jules will talk.
Yeah.
I'll
talk
Jules,
about
jump
it
in
more.
whenever and tell me to just shut up and talk
No,
about
bro,
something
you're
that
good.
you're reminded of.
You're just edging me. It's okay.
That's hey, I'm setting you up, man. Trump's draining the swamp.
Yeah, libtards blown the fuck out, dog. All right, occult shit. So we're getting occult shit. We're at Dutroux. Dutroux's on. Yeah, we're getting there. Man. Oh, are you working up to the castle shit? Is that what you're working on? Some of the weird.
The main point is that, first of all, we had this brought up in the chat, so I wanted to address the fact that this is where like it's a great introduction starting point, to really just the occult roots of NASA, and then how Jack Parsons himself. We should pull up pictures. I'll pull up pictures of this motherfucker. It's so hilarious because you just look at his ass, and again, you're like, yeah, this guy was clearly practicing sex magic with LRonHubbard.
They were boo-fooing each other, dude.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and anyway, so they really tried to. We're here for you, Jules. Don't let him keep you down. Wow. Man, this is
Jules is only our token hot bitch. That's all he is.
Right?
He's the Ashley St. Clair of this podcast.
Yes.
Oh my God, look, it's my mom, man.
Oh, what's up?
That's my mom, dude. Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
well,
my
I know I feel
mom's
bad
awesome.
using swears.
Hey, Miss Picard.
Hey. Yeah, no, don't worry. My mom, she's awesome.
Okay,
so,
cool.
But anyway, so it's interesting because the way that he discovers this ritualistic black site, which is what it really becomes, right? Is it was this Aerojet facility that was constructed by, well, essentially it was really not only Jack Parsons who was behind the development of this facility, but it was also the paperclip Nazi Werner von Braun, who was very much affiliated with it as well. They're both considered to be like the fathers of modern rocketry in many ways, right? Which is kind of important, especially considering like how the moon landing was really like some sort of like sex magic ritual as well, which is very interesting because I was unaware of that, the affiliation and context there as far as the connection to like just the shape of the rockets themselves are like shaped like
phallic
dicks, right?
Yeah. Big old cocks going in the sky, dog.
I'm telling you, man. And so anyway, these baby dolls that Kimmel, the Python cowboy, discovered while he was granted access to this area that would be off limits to the general public. Okay, so you have to get special privilege to access this area of land, which of course people illegally violate that all the time, right? Because it's clearly in
By
the
the way,
middle of
update on my YouTube situation. It's back up already. I literally, while we were on here, I just real quick said nope, rejected it. Didn't even give a reason because it wasn't an option. And within like 5 minutes, it's back up. But I guarantee you, it's like a short, clipped up version because they stopped it like assholes, and it's in the middle of a live stream, so they fucked me. Whatever. Hey, cool. This works out. I'll probably just I want to let you guys know when shit like this happens. I'm not putting it back up on YouTube. So it's just You guys gonna come over to Rumble. I'm not wasting my time putting that up there. You guys have 30 minutes on YouTube. If anything, it worked out perfectly. I just did the thing that most people do A lot of content creators do anyway. So there you go. Sorry, I just thought it was ridiculous, and the fact that like almost immediately is back. Really, like, dude, you fucked me in the middle of a stream. You fucked me. Right. But okay, sorry. I'm just a little upset about that.
Good,
but go on. Let's. I think at some point we'll get to Jules or something like that.
No, we will. We will. We should honestly we should just watch a little bit of this because and then comment on it as we watch it, because I'm telling you right now, it's worthwhile. It really is. But let's check it out just quickly.
Oh, muted, dude.
Yeah, my bad.
Unsolved cases involving deaths and murders. That's just the bodies, but that's like deaths and murders.
Well,
I would imagine that would be a good place to drop off.
That's kind of what I was going to say. Is it's a very good place to go hide stuff. I've found vehicles that were used in crimes dumped out there. I've found
it gets right into
dogs from dog fights that were dumped out there. I've found animals that have just been dumped. I've found very intricate and mind-blowing satanic rituals.
Here we go.
And sacrifices out there.
What?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love Rogan, dude.
So I was, which I found different stuff before. I'll find maybe where someone was doing some voodoo, some Santeria, sacrificed a chicken, whatever. All that's like kind of normal out there. That's not that crazy. But what I found this night was very crazy. Yeah, the police came and investigated it. It made the news.
Look at this.
And that's the facility I was hunting. It's Aerojet. It's actually an abandoned space rocket facility from the Cold War, where they were developing and testing space rockets.
And what were you hunting there?
Pythons. I was out there, hunting these snakes, and this facility is you need special access. I was given special access by the state of Florida to remove pythons from out there. And nobody can just go back out there, but people do go out there, as you can see from the graffiti and different stuff like that, usually to do stuff that they're not supposed to do. There's a lot of crimes committed out there. There've been murders out there, gang initiations, all kind of stuff.
So they have a pentagram that's...
So... yeah, it's a whole thing. So we go out there. The first thing I came across was a big rock pile with a upside down wooden cross on top and a bunch of red spray painted upside down crosses all over. And you could tell the cross, I think, was burnt a little bit. And it wasn't, crazy, super crazy. It was like, oh, this is new. This wasn't out here a few days ago.
Dude, what the fuck?
And then I found this little doll. And as I kind of investigated that doll more, a little red scarlet snake actually came up and wrapped around her neck.
What?
And I picked up this. There it is. I picked up the scarlet snake, and
oh my god! Dude.
Which it was kind of weird that there's a live snake, a red snake, on this doll. And I've caught a lot of snakes in my life, and that is the only one that was bleeding out of its anus. There was blood coming out of its beehole. Which, I don't know why, who knows what. It was a little weird to me. And then the night just kind of gets weirder from there.
Coming out of the snakes,
you see the red lettering in the other clip. It was a big Latin saying, like 100-foot long, pretty much, on the road. I drove over it. We later translated it to turn around, run, hide. He is watching you. Go further into the complex, and there's these big abandoned buildings. I go into the building, still just python hunting. Like, who knows what these kids are doing out here. I thought it was strange, the Latin, your average kid just messing around, don't know Latin sayings like that. And then I come to this big room where there's the big pentagram. In the middle of the pentagram, there is a three-legged plastic chair with a blood stain in the bottom of it, where you can tell something was killed, sacrificed, whatever. On each wall, there's 3 walls. On each wall, there's upside down crosses, Latin sayings, and all kinds of stuff. As I'm kind of walking into the room,
black mass,
I don't want to sound like a psycho or anything, but that doll from earlier grabbed my leg. I don't know if I kicked it. I didn't see it.
No,
or
that's
what.
The only part that I'm
But
like,
that doll from the rock pile somewhere else, I don't know if it was another doll or what. I never seen that other doll. I kick it. It seemed like it grabbed me. It's that same doll from earlier. Same thing with the cross on its forehead, the one eye cocked over, the other eye messed up. And so, you know, it's very, very weird to me. Kind of like scared me.
So
right next,
it wasn't there, and then it was
Pause it
there
for a second.
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice
it. Carry it over there.
I really feel. Oh, Jesus, this is long.
Yeah, it's almost over though.
I feel like I remember in my Dutro, and then when I dug deep in there, that there was. I just. Oh, the idea of like the dolls and like those type of symbols. I vaguely recall because it was not. I didn't like. This is awful. When you do dive deep into some of that, there is some of those articles and stuff that will show pictures. The one that I did, like, it was like a lot of the stuff was like blurred, but it was there. I didn't want it there. It just happened to be captions as you're reading through the article. But I remember I swear I remember seeing like, you know, very similar aesthetic to that, like the dolls, snakes, the blood. Like I just vaguely recall that. I'm just saying from my recollection, I just vaguely recall there being like some shit. So this is weird. This is all right. So you said you're not trying to watch this whole video, are you? Or are you gonna?
It's honestly, it's almost over.
Okay.
I'll cut it short, but
yeah.
it's,
well, I didn't know if you knew there was like a spot where it ended soon that like what was important.
It's
so
still really interesting.
Yeah.
There.
No, I didn't touch it.
So did anybody else? Was anybody else with you?
I had two guys with me that didn't even want to get out of the truck when they seen the first thing. They stayed in the truck.
So the same.
I think the most important part is about to come up right now because. Yeah, it's very interesting what they discover in the actual buildings themselves.
They didn't touch
anything. Saw on the rock pile somehow made its way to where you were.
Yep, I don't know if it's a duplicate doll or what, but it's same.
Was there more than one of those dolls?
Only doll I seen. I'm not big on the whole supernatural thing, so I'm real doubtful of it in the first place. But to me, it was the same doll from earlier. I did not see it until it hit my foot. Right next to that doll, there is a saying on the ground that says, "The omen will follow," which to me was like the creepiest thing of the whole thing. Was like, you know, that if you interact with any of this, the spirit's going to follow you. Which I'm Christian, I believe in God, and I wasn't worried. You know, I know the good Lord has my back. But very strange, right? Very strange.
Oh, shit.
As we go through, there's all kind of different stuff. In one of the rooms, there's a sleeping bag with something inside of it. I don't think it was a body, anything like that. Police went out there, investigated it. I didn't investigate further past that. Something was inside the sleeping bag, and on the walls there was looked like red spray paint, and it said she was only 9. We gave her to the devil, like basically talking about sacrificing a child. And then you have this little girl's gown that's nailed to the wall with like a dark red stain on it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And what was
We're supposed to just believe that sleep bag's nothing.
Did you follow?
What?
We're supposed to believe that sleep bag's nothing. Like what?
I know, man. Like, why would he frame it?
Why would
like
you just assume? I mean, I don't know. I guess to be fair, it's like he is, but it's like to me, I hear that I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
the first thing I would think is body. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, and it's like, I mean, sure. I
Like,
guess most
fraud.
likely, if you call the cops and they come over, they're gonna be. But who knows? I don't know the fuck. You're like, and the idea that later, the cops said it was nothing. You're like, that's not good enough for me. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Most of the times you call a cop, I feel like, yeah, they're like, holy shit, it's a dead body. But I don't know the fuck's going on over there. So.
Yep.
Yeah, but all right.
Yep.
This ties into Parsons somehow, or
yeah,
not
yeah,
Parsons?
100%. Yeah,
because that's their site or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a site that Jack Parsons was directly affiliated with, and you know, of course, he practiced this Enochian Magick, which 100% really like. What was mostly involved was a lot of sex ritual magic, which I found very interesting, right? And
but but you say Jack Parsons, but Jack Parsons was associated with NASA in general. So like any of these spots, anything NASA related would be him, right? Or is this somehow more closely tied to him?
Well, I mean, like he was legitimately at this facility when he was
so
right
he's
when
legitimately physically at that facility.
Yeah.
Got it.
Aerojet was his officially his like organization, right? His baby. Basically, right, and that's why I think it's very interesting because there's occult, historical context to this specific facility, which again, you have like ritual magic was conducted at this facility, which they practiced blood ritual magic as well. It wasn't just sex magic. It clearly they were harvesting blood for ritualistic purposes as well.
Mm-hmm.
But so it really gets far more interesting than that, because basically Jack Parsons himself was considered like that a part of a sex cult, right? And they even viewed him as the Antichrist, which was very interesting as well. But they like when you look into what he was really practicing, basically him and LRonHubbard, they formed a relationship before LRonHubbard even like wrote the book Dianetics, right? The original 1940s. So it was like basically in 1946, 4 years prior to the publication of Dianetics, Hubbard participated in a series of events that remained controversial for the Church of Scientology, of course. And during that spring of 46, Hubbard performed a number of magical rites together with John Whiteside, Jack Parsons, which subsequently became known as Babylon working, which I found very interesting because, again, this is like all affiliated with the Agape Lodge of the Ordo Templi Orientis and the secret society that's directly affiliated with Aleister Crowley and the British occultist, which everyone should be aware of by now, right? Since the early 1920s, when as far as like this specific lodge was considered. Hey, that was the woman he was practicing this sex ritual with, right? He had procured this woman. So basically what had happened is that Jack Parsons, pioneer rocket scientist, co-founder of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, was the head of Agape Lodge of Ordo Templi Orientis. And so Hubbard's association with Crowleyan magic has been known to the public since at least 1969, when the Sunday Times of London published a detailed expose of Hubbard's dealings with Parsons entitled The Odd Beginning of Ron Hubbard's Career. And so these unpublished letters are basically quoted and then put into this transcript and so this Crowley admirer who could have been right, like it's very interesting because essentially in 1969 he's described as far as Parsons sought to incarnate the Thelemic goddess of female sexuality, Babylon, into a human being. And so this was the ultimate goal of this sex ritual. But to carry out this intricate mission, Parsons needed a female sexual partner to create his child in the astral spiritual world.
Mm-hmm.
If this
the
part
moon
of
child,
the moon child, brother.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
You're jerking
Austin.
off on the tablets. All right, go ahead, Jules. You do your
Well, no, I was just going to say the first thing that I wanted to point out, like they're trying to perform Enochian magic, opening up portals, a lot of dark shit, a lot of dark energy. He runs off with his wife. It's the same thing with Edward Kelly and John D. They were literally like wife swapping and cucking each other. Yeah, it's incredible. But when so I want
You
to
never had a
address-
best friend?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That video, yeah, I forgot that was at like an actual site of Jack Parsons, dude. But Crowley didn't even like I don't think he liked Parsons or Hubbard. I definitely know he didn't like Hubbard. He thought he was a fag. Yeah, they were all fags, but
dude, to that point, Crowley removed Parsons from Master of the Lodge in Pasadena.
Yeah, because he was fucking hanging out with Hubbard, and they were trying to create the moon child via the Scarlet Woman. Crowley was trying to do the same thing. I don't think you can have that same ritual going on. Maybe
fuck off! I'm
at
doing
the same
this.
time.
Yeah, they were competing in the ideology.
No, I'm fucking the Scarlet Woman.
No, I'm fucking. No, yeah, and so. Yeah, you have these fucking because these guys are just nerds, right? They're just fucking
absolutely, man.
Yeah, this
Dude,
is
look at this
it's
guy.
probably the sort of
I'll
shit
pull up
Elon's
a
doing.
picture of this fucking dude.
It's probably exactly the same shit he's doing.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, think about that energy though from this guy talking about this dog grabbing his leg, and oh god,
No cat for real.
there
For
they
real.
are.
Jack Parsons right here.
He's got some pizzazz. I'll give him that.
Dude, I'm telling you, he had that mustache going on. Look
a little
at him.
pep in his step, dude.
Look at him, dude.
A little light in the loafers.
Yeah, no, he was, by the way, he was like an explosives expert, or considered to be. That motherfucker at 12 years old was like blowing shit up and getting banned from, like essentially he was sent to a military academy after he was expelled for creating bombs. It's like one of the craziest stories when he was like 12 years old. But yeah, that dude, I think he actually could have been involved in helping with his explosives expertise in regard to like specific targeted assassinations and executions. He might have been involved, which I find very interesting because it seems like he has a strong footprint overlapping with
that
intelligence.
connection. Yeah, if we can establish that connection,
yeah,
fuck yeah, dude. All right, I want to swap over to the call-in portion of the show, but I think a kind of a way to transition over would be we've been doing these kind of recaps of the week. Thought it'd be kind of cool to show you this a quick little what we've done the past week on already not already dead, but on the morning dump. You guys can thank Tim Tuttle for putting these together, although I am giving him money for it. So it's a fair exchange. So he's not just doing it for the fun of it. But yeah, we have these. So I'm doing these super cuts every week. The weekly dump is what I'm calling these. So I figured, you guys can see what you're missing if you aren't watching these. Plus, kind of give us a recap of the week. Just kind of remind us. I think these would be good for kind of spurning on conversation. Like, oh yeah, that happened this week. But let's go ahead and play this. I think I have a cat trap somewhere. God damn it. You guys hear that? Fuck, there's totally one trapped. Oh, well. So that's a plane crash. I don't know exactly. Introduction. Have you heard? It's finally happening. The richest man in the world is dismantling the deep state for us. And there's Elon with putting his heart out to us. Keep in mind the gendarmerie is a military police, and that's a big component of the Dutroux Fair thing. So now he's talking about this is in relation to something more Gladio related, the Brabant.
Oh, fuck him. Good to see you committed something.
Like, oh god, these are creepy. So, yeah, this is weird. Some opponents speak of a sect that wanted him gone. I'm an avowed Freemason, in quotes, kind of thing.
Always goes back to if you had dead babies, now you get it. You're justified in being an animal to them. Right?
How's that work?
Then if you're going to put them on the stand, you can't put them on the stand and know that they're going to lie. Okay.
So that would be an unethical, lawyerly thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. And subordinate perjury and whatnot. But that's...
This is what the music industry is all about.
Oh, dude. Get into the
thing. He's Jeffrey. Let's go.
So weird seeing that now.
It's so strange. I certainly hope that it's basically what we had just suggested, is that it's some form of trauma bonding, and that's the reason he's sort of romanticizing the the abuse itself, right? And the relationship, and that her father was essentially trained by the Catholic clergy in Boston on these methods of mind control techniques, and essentially to wear a mask while raping her while she was 5 years old. Like one of the craziest, as far as like how they implement the altars, how they implement the DID, and
dude, I think it's probably so fucking weird in the upper circles of the Catholic. You got weird entities like the Jesuits. 40,000 people are displaced, and they're telling them basically fuck off, don't come back.
Yeah, you can't come back. Yeah. So according to former Scotland Yard detective, after puberty it has no power. Before puberty it holds the power.
Yeah, you're like looking at, you're like, oh yeah, no shit.
Yeah, of course it's a pedophile. Are you fucking kidding me?
Stranger walking in my dreams. Who's the stranger? Cast the shell across my heart. Who's the stranger? I'm definitely his name. Must be on time for walking. Must be on time for walking.
Another banger edit, dude. Shout out to him.
That was killer, man.
He did an edit for my show, and I play it at the end of every show. It's awesome.
He's the best,
man. Who Tim Tuttle? He did an edit for you?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure you weren't like swapping him up with Laney or something. Did you didn't swap him up with Laney? Did Oh, Laney did intro for you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I knew Laney did work for you. I'm like, you aren't being a dick and like thinking he's Laney right now, are you? Okay, cool. He did both. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to swap over to the call-in portion of the show. If you guys want to call in, 941-281-5857. The number is down below. You can call, now I will say, this is, when you do call in, if you do call in, you can only talk to me. They can hear you, but they can't talk to you. So if you have a question, kind of keep it curt, question, whatever, idea, whatever, keep in mind, because it's basically me and you. So it kind of restricts conversation. In the future, maybe we'll figure out a logistically way to fix that. But the best way to get around that is you can hop on video, and you can, but you got to be a patron for that. That's patreon.com/NoHesitate2020 or Austin's, which I don't know what your URL is offhand. But he has his. You also get those free Sam Tripoli episodes. So not free. You got to pay for them. I'm retarded. But yeah. But either way, point being is you can get the video chat option there, like this guy right here, who's just chilling in the chat. I don't know if he actually wants to talk. Crabman, let me know if you do want to pop in, and you can. But yeah, that's the way you get a hold of us. So you can, if you support us, you can hop in for the video chat portion. But otherwise, we're going to keep shooting the shit. And if you guys want to hop in, we'll probably interact with the chat maybe a little bit if we see anything in the frame of a question or something along those lines. Cool. It says Crabman says he may in a bit. Hell yeah, dude. Whenever you want to pop in, you let us know and we will bring you on in. So yeah, have you been able to find anyone for Boys on the Tracks yet? Bobo Miku says no, but I am still interested in going that. That was one that we could have we could actually totally probably feel like it's a lot to do last minute, since I don't know if either of us know enough about it, but it kind of ties into Mina stuff. But I guess we could kind of just hand wave over and go just jump from Boys on Track to Mina, and then like
I might as well dedicate an episode at some point, mainly because I think the Arkansas tie-in is very personal to me because it's where I'm from. So that would be kind of perfect. Honestly, I could do my best as far as like kind of like weaving together some sort of conceptual narrative in regard to all the exploitation happening throughout the Clinton governorship in Arkansas, and how they kind of exploited the area.
That was one of the first things that woke me up to the Clintons.
Yeah.
And then my wife's grandma, she lives in Little Rock, right? And like basically said that she had some friends that were real wealthy, and may have been in the government or something, and would talk about how they would go to these Clinton parties and how there was always this white powder there, right?
Interesting.
Like apparently people doing it, and this is like an old lady saying this stuff, right? Like she has no reason to lie about it. And I was like, oh, fuck me.
I'm realizing that, how people look at Iran-Contra now, like, dude, this is an established operation that has been conducted for generations. This doesn't only it's not exclusive to Iran-Contra, right? Like I'm very much aware of that now in regard to what I just covered at Fort Bragg in 1969. When this widespread drug trafficking operation is being conducted through the military bases and then distributed domestically with plausible deniability by compromised investigators in the narcotics division of the local PD, and then the military police themselves being compromised and ushering through and facilitating this widespread drug trafficking. So it's just like in every single one of these networks of abuse, it's involved. Not only drug trafficking, weapons smuggling as well. So it's like, again, man, how many times do we point to this enterprise? It's not only,
because we break them up, because I feel like we think of drug trafficking, and you're like, no, it's the same entity doing the same thing. It makes more sense for them to come together and to instead of I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a component of these sort of operations that is very what's the word I'm looking for? Segmented or broken up, compartmentalized. Yeah. But there is also, to some extent, it doesn't make sense to compartmentalize at all because it's just incredibly wasteful. Which, I mean, whatever, the government wastes a fuckload. But my point being is, when you're doing something this dark and shadowy, and they kind of, there's also a level of necessity. Like you brought up, like the drug trafficking. Obviously, we talk a lot about in relation to this sort of thing. These Gladio operations, we talk about things like child trafficking or SRA, and you're like, that's like blackmail. That's money. You can equate that to money, and they need money for their operations, or to get take money off the top. A lot of these people probably do. Like I sent you a couple threads about this one guy in relation to the Gladio shit today, that like he was living in Thailand. He was an ex-gendarmerie or whatever. He's living in Thailand with like some, I don't know what it equates to fucking American money, but he had like 6 nice fucking properties that he was like, those seemed weirdly shady. He was hanging out with like the elites over there. And this is a dude who's supposed to be like a fucking rusty cop, that did his fucking time and got out type deal. Like not someone killing it. Like not someone that's like they just fucking.
That was the thing with Dutroux, having all the various properties. It made no sense. He had so many different, assets financially. It didn't, fit with his lifestyle. So, by the way, Bobo McHua, he says that already dead. Technically, the boys on the tracks also ties into OKC, if you believe that. The Whitewater Papers were at the government building. I know there's no real credible corroborative evidence that I've been able to discover and like reveal to myself that I've been able to bring to the table that proved that fact. But again, I need to go back down this rabbit hole of the boys on the tracks, because I hope to God there's some sort of like, direct as far as evidentiary connection to that fact, because I've only ever heard it as rumors. I tried so fucking hard to pin that down when I covered OKC, brother. I wanted to know why did they shift it to the Murrah building, last second.
I think the reasoning for that is because I think it was partially a sting operation gone wrong. I've explained this before. I think it was if I had to guess, I think, obviously I can't prove this, but it's pattern recognition's a bitch, and this is kind of what I'm seeing here. I'm what I've seen, from the players involved, and I'm not going to spend, we could spend 45 minutes going into that, but I'm going to try to just do it quick and fast. But I think what happened was this was an FBI op, PatCon, that was infiltrated by a CIA op, Gladio, or something like that, essentially. I mean, I don't know what they would call it, but essentially the equivalent of Gladio, and that's what made it go live. And this essentially was.
Wait, hold on, McVeigh. I want to hear what you have to say. I'm not trying to cut it.
No, you're cool. I don't know enough about the Cuban stuff. This is a weird little side thing. Yeah, he was.
How does that not tie into the black site? Right. The training facility, the training black sites from the clandestine.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was doing weird shit like this on the side. He was like, he was doing. There's some weirdness there. Yeah. I forget the ins and outs. That's some like weird. That's some niche stuff in Wendy painting. I forget that era where he was like when he's doing that sort of shit. I forget. Or Evergreen. I forget. Yeah, this is arming Cubans. Oh, I wonder if because it was somehow tied into the Moore stuff. Okay, I'm getting off topic. But anyways,
but isn't it Roger Moore that you reminded me of? That was potentially selling, like offering up. The implication was potentially pornography that could have been like, hey, why is he dealing in this black market pornography if it's not pornography, right? Like, I mean, that's kind of what I was
Moore
thinking.
Got busted for bootleg porn, but we don't know what kind. Man? Yeah, like why is there an ATF? It was like an ATF sting, I think.
This shares ATF all the hallmarks. Yep. Fucking Paddock too, man. I mean,
he was working for CMA and like control. Was it? I forget something. Material assistance, civilian material assistance, which was just a CIA cutout.
I'm gonna take a piss real quick.
Okay,
myself
anyways, I'll go back to what I was saying. So the idea, the reasoning, and I don't know if Austin can hear me or not, but the reasoning why the swapping from the federal building, because what he was referring to, Jules, is he was referring to he's trying to figure out why did they change it why did it go to the Murrah Felder building? Well, there was a lot of intel. I forget the specifics, but there was a lot of people that seemed to think that it was going to be the courthouse that was like basically across the road instead of the federal building. The reason being was, like I said, there's multiple reasons. I'm not going to go into the nitnoid reasons, but the point being is like, why would they swap one to the other? Well, there's also, I mean, to flesh this out a little bit more, there's also the theory that's I think it's pretty solid that there were multiple Ryder trucks, and so the idea being is what a lot of people think, and I think this makes sense. We could spend a lot of time going into why it makes sense, but essentially the idea being that, hey, there was some sort of mole inside of this op. This was supposed to be a sting. They were supposed to, ride up this Ryder truck to the federal building, and there was supposed to be probably some sort of transponder or something that they could like track it. And then, ta-da! No, there's actually no bomb in it, or it's a fake bomb, or whatever it ends up being. And ooh, we got you. And now we get to have this big moment in front of the federal courthouse, and like we're all circled around. And like, oh fuck yeah! Like one of these kind of moments. Yeah. And no, instead, looks like somebody goes, oh shit. Well, seems these guys, someone spilled the tea, kind of deal, or something along those lines. Someone was hip to the idea that there was a sting going on, and instead got another Ryder truck. And probably sent someone to drive, either to dump the other one somewhere or drive it around or something as some sort of decoy truck, because they're going to be tracking that thing. And they end up instead go over to the Murrah Federal Building and kablooey that instead. And there's nobody tracking that. There's nobody expecting the Murrah Federal Building. So it's kind of wide open. And now they're caught with their pants down in a situation where their sting went super fucking bad, like literally the worst it possibly could, like literally the worst at that point in time, the biggest act of terror on the United States, still the largest domestic act of terror now, even after 9/11, and that was probably an FBI sting fuck up. Like that's likely what happened. So, and now they go, oh shit, now we're fucked. Now we have to cover this up, and now CIA gets to go. Or whatever shadowy organization that made it go live gets to back off into the shadows and go, all right.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I have a buddy that was living in Oklahoma at the time, right? And he claims that like as far away as they were from the Murrah building, that they felt the effect, right, physically. And their windows were shaking, and like, dude, it's fucking nuts, right? Like the actual effect of the bombing itself, which is another reason why, like, you look at the explosives experts, like breakdown and interpretation of what occurred. They clearly believe it was wired up, to detonate, right? And
by the way, Bobo, he did admit to his sister. He sent a letter to her.
Oh, dude, that's
saying
crazy.
that that's the one where everyone says, it sounds crazy. They go, was this guy some sort of spook? Was this some sort of black ops stuff? And you're like, dude, he literally said this to his sister. Like he said this years prior. Like this wasn't like, I mean, I don't really know how you explain other than he's a liar,
right? With his grandpa as well, where he's like, he's confessing to his grandpa, like basically I think it was one
he
of
had
the
some
only
sort of weird
individuals he
manic
seemed to
episode or
respect.
something.
Yeah, he had like some manic episode, and he confessed it all to him, and then wrote this letter to his sister, and then they were his sister and his mom and the rest of his family, of course, but definitely his mom. They were significantly harassed, post event, of course, but still, it's very interesting how they essentially lost their freedom to kind of like exercise their privacy in any sort of way, right? Which is it kind of par for the course when it comes to the injustice system.
Yeah,
but
Dr. Ori says, weren't there people that were told not to come to work in OKC? Yes, the ATF was told not to come to work.
Were they?
There literally was a person, I forget the name of it, because I mean, whatever. If I've been actually studying up for a OKC episode, I probably could spout it off for you. But there is, and I could find it if anyone wants it, but there is a video of a guy, I believe they have his face blacked out for anonymity, but you can get his name, and I think we've confirmed his identity after the fact. But essentially, this was someone who worked in the federal building. They got him on camera saying this, that there was an ATF individual that when because he came in essentially looking for his wife. Like this was one of the guys, his wife worked in the building. He was looking for her. I believe he also worked, nearby or something. So he knew these people. He was kind of friends with them, and he saw one of the ATF agents. And he's like, "Hey, where's my wife? Where's so and so?" I'm like, "I'm looking for her." Blah blah. Like, and he said something about like the ATF agents, and he goes, "Oh no, that we got to beep her not to come into work today." So yeah, I have a call. So you guys shoot the shit. I'm gonna set up the call in the background. Okay.
Alrighty, I'm on.
I forgot it wasn't muted. So you guys
Jules,
there you
what's
go.
up, brother?
Hey, nothing. Sorry, my family.
No, you're good.
They're all going to bed. So say goodnight to the kids.
Check this out. All right. So this is within the past 5 days, okay? And more than 200 people were arrested during a 12-day operation targeting human trafficking in Scottsdale, Arizona. And it looks like Scottsdale police say the operation ran between January 22nd and February 15th. The department's Human Exploitation and Trafficking Unit targeted sex buyers, predators, and those involved in the sex trade and trafficking. Officials say no children were directly involved and the operations were decoy-based. Several Valley agencies were listed as being involved in the operation, but 202 people were inevitably arrested during this 12-day multi-agency operation. And
sorry, Austin, I don't want to cut you. I'm not trying to cut you off. We can come back to this because I'm actually super interested. But we have a caller right now, so I'm going to let's add him real quick.
Yeah,
and
go ahead,
there we go. Here we go. Hey, you're on Already Dead with Austin and Jose and Jules. What's up, man? How you doing? Let people know who you are and what's up.
Hello, Austin, Jose, and Jules. I've been following you guys for about a few months now. I literally just got home from work. Just wanted to call in and just say, just thank y'all for what y'all doing. I've been enjoying the content. Literally, I got no questions right now. Just literally got home from work. Just finally got a chance to call, say, thank y'all.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
So sorry.
You're
no
good,
real
dude.
questions at the moment. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Also, but I'm really enjoying your series on the Las Vegas shit. It's kind of been like my own personal kind of like what the fuck happened here. But just keep up the good work, Mac.
Appreciate it,
Bros,
man.
Hey.
More,
by the way,
more incoming. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, shout out from Toronto, Canada. It's whatever you think the hellhole is in California, man. Come up here.
It ain't so
places
bad.
in a moment. But I'm just shooting the shit around. But thanks, y'all.
Well, thanks for calling in, man. It's sweet. I mean, it's cool if people call in. That's great. You call in next time, ask a question. But it's thanks for coming in or popping in. It's very wholesome.
No, I just want to say hello, thank y'all, and goodbye.
All right, we'll see you. Appreciate it, man. Call in next time, all right?
Peace. Peace.
Dude, Tim Tuttle coming with the aggression, man. How dare you?
All right, let's get back into what you were covering. Sorry. All right, let's get back into that. So sorry, I was interested, but I had when I got to set up in the background, I can't really pay attention. So
no worries, brother. So it's interesting because this ties directly into what inevitably connects to Project Spade. And this was something I was unaware of until just today. Honestly, I hadn't done much research into it until today, and I went down this brief rabbit hole. But essentially, the officials claim that over 202 total arrests were made. 53 were felonies, 149 misdemeanors. Charges included child sex trafficking, prostitution, pandering, luring a minor for sexual exploitation, attempted sexual conduct with a minor, possession of narcotic drugs, and felony flight. And so we got somebody here.
We got it. We got a video. We got someone in for the video call. Which, by the way, when I say video call, you don't need to do video for those people out there. Hey, Crabman, can you talk? Can you? Do you want to get?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
There we go. We got you.
What's up, Crabman?
Ain't not much. Oh, just one. Been trying to figure out how to ask this without being insulting. No. There's another podcast or channel that it feels like it's a limited hangout or something, or like a Sean Ryan-esque type thing. The production value and everything's off the charts, low viewer count, but it's climbing. Blah blah. And I don't want to be like dropping other things on y'all's show and
drop it, baby.
But it's the Matt Kim show. I don't know if you even heard of it or whatnot.
Matt who?
Matt Kim.
Never
heard of
the two Asians, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I saw something that keeps showing up in my YouTube recently where it was like they were doing like
my algorithm just
JQ. Like I'm
blows
like, I don't
them
care.
the hell up.
I've already done the JQ.
and I don't know, maybe they're the real deal. I don't know, but I've just it feels like Sean Ryan all over again.
Right.
Did they have some sort of spook background or something?
I have no idea. I haven't looked into them or nothing. I've watched the things I'm hearing what I want to hear from them. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, you're too worried that you're hearing good stuff. I get you. You're like, why is this good stuff and other people like it? What's going on here?
So, and on a follow up, they did bring up a thing. It's SFF SA 56, and it was brought into law in 2018. It's a real slept on thing. It's what apparently makes like all this bullshit government accounting, like where you can lie or withhold or whatever, like it's what makes it all legal. And apparently it can be done away with an executive order too. I don't have the civics to understand it all, but
what's this called again?
It's a handbook or something that it's a statement providing guidance for federal entities that issue unclassified general purpose federal financial reports. Is that what you're talking about? FAS 56, is that what you said?
SFF SA 56.
SA, okay, I put AS. Interesting. A statement of federal financial accounting standards 56 is a guideline issued by the Federal Accounting Standards Advisory Board that allows government agencies to modify public financial statements to protect classified information. It permits the omission of alteration or alteration of budget information in a way that may obscure actual spending amounts while maintaining separate accurate records for auditing purposes. Interesting. So it's kind of a workaround for fiscally for these kind of account statements. Is that what you're saying as far as these organizations are concerned? Man, that is very interesting. That would to seem to implicate, kind of how these selected entities and organizations can kind of function behind the scenes in this clandestine framework. That's only structured and cultivated and created and implemented for these specific privileged entities. That's fucking interesting, man. Like that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, of course, we shouldn't be surprised that there's some sort of,
they've made it legal.
Exactly. Yeah. Why would it not be at this point? It's just the average person couldn't potentially, leverage that to their benefit, of course, because we have no input or, yeah, that's very interesting, man. I'm glad you brought that to my attention because I was wondering how, with all the different conversations surrounding like the auditing of various organizations that are clearly like, just exploitative in inherently, right? By just their existence alone, as far as on the taxpayer dole. Yeah, man. That's cool as hell. I appreciate you bringing that to the table, brother. What was your
my
name?
two things.
Crabman.
Sorry. I'm gonna just turn the mic off for now, but y'all take it easy.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you joining us. We'll kick you out if you have any other ideas. You're hanging out in the back watching. Hey, if that's what you actually, I like this idea. I do want to foster the idea of people just sit in the back because then it's kind of like, hey, they can kind of just chill, and if they decide they have a question through the court, they can hop in. So you guys can.
What your mom does most of the time.
Your mom's really proud of you. This is adorable. Hey, I've been watching your mom interacting in the chat. It's super cute.
About the guy your mom hangs out.
Yeah. Oh, you're just doing your mom joke.
Fire Pixie's on one.
Yeah, he says, "Damn it, Jules." So now you've said your 3 sentences, and now she's sick of you.
You have a Patreon supporter whose name is your mom. When he comes, and you don't.
What?
It ain't my mom, Jules. You better watch your mouth, dog. I don't like your
not Austin's mom. A literal. The name is your mom. That's how he hangs out.
It's gotta be.
He hangs out with me and Austin after the show for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that comes and chills.
Oh yeah. I forgot his name was your mom. Yeah. You're talking about the guy hanging in the back. You did a Toad there. You did a Toad reference, is what that was. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? All right, gotcha. The audience doesn't know this shit, just like they don't know a Toad reference. A Toad reference here is a Toad reference. So that's a wow. We're Inception here. All right, let's get to some actual content. Okay? Let's get back to where you're at. I know we got distracted by callers. It's a good distraction. I'm good with that. But what were we back on? Some sort of child trafficking, something or other. I think. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. I'm like genuinely interested in this.
Right.
Let's go.
So basically, I look up this Project Spade, and I discovered that there was this international police investigation, which apparently it revealed this very well-established network of child pornography that was being distributed globally, internationally. And there was a specific organization that it was tied to, and as far as Project Spade. And in Australia, by the way, there was kind of like this almost like this parallel investigation that was being conducted, and it was called Operation Thunderer. And essentially up to 45 terabytes of images and videos were seized, right, of these exploitative child abuse. As far as just it seemed as if it was very much in the framework of North Fox Island and how they conduct their operation, or how they conducted their operation in regard to kind of having this subscription model, right, where you would pay a fee, and depending on the tier of your financial commitment, you would then gain access to more sadistic forms of abuse, whether it was even personally, you could actually procure a child yourself. You could go to North Fox Island and physically abuse someone. And I think that was where really you have direct tie-ins to how the Dutroux network was operating, and that's very interesting to me, because North Fox Island, they were conducting child hunts as well, right? And what we talked about this morning, Jose, it's like, my God, man, you consider the fact that the essence of Moloch was you play with your food, it's like fucked up, man. But it's something so sadistic, right? Where it's like you sort of traumatize and torture your victim before, and it creates this environment, and this sort of, it helps facilitate what I view as, how they've talked about, as far as just like, why is the term escaping me? Adrenochrome. As far as adrenochrome is considered itself, you get the, oh my God, these terms are escaping me at this moment. But what's the term for when you're flooded with not testosterone, damn it, but in moments of crisis, right? You're
adrenaline.
Flooded with, Jesus Christ, man, I can't remember like regular fucking words. Essentially, your blood is flooded with the adrenaline, right? And that itself makes this more potent as far as the drug is concerned, adrenochrome itself. And so whenever they harvest this adrenochrome, it's essentially, they want to put these victims in the environment to where they have this adrenaline rush within the moments that they are essentially procuring the blood, right, for ritualistic purposes, or for just the drug effects for their own benefit personally. And so again, you think about what is that alleged video of Hillary Clinton and Uma Abedin, right, who are ruthlessly torturing a victim, Frazzle Drip, yeah,
boy.
Where they're ruthlessly torturing a victim, allegedly. and once again, what is that? What's the implication there? Yeah, that you're essentially you're provoking this adrenaline rush to take place, where then you can harvest the blood that you hope to utilize for your own personal benefit within that context. And so that's something I think is very important for people to at least be able to acknowledge as a reality in itself, as far as how these people function and the way that they think conceptually and psychologically. I think that alone, not enough people are aware of that fact. So with that being said, You
Jules,
have
say
like
some words.
Jules, jump in, dog. You got anything to add?
Jumped. I don't know. I'm just listening to you, man. I love listening to you. So
hey, man, I love you, Jules.
love you
Honestly, man, I'm so happy that we're doing this show. It gives me this like outlet to actually have these conversations where otherwise, man, I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm sitting over here doing 4-hour episodes about, like Jose said, obscure 50-year-old murder cases. You know what I mean? But so again, like if I didn't have this sort of platform, then yeah, it would be far more difficult for me to kind of like deal with just my conceptual mind, the way it functions. It's kind of it's but anyway, I'm very grateful and I love you guys. But yeah, it's kind of hilarious that Fire Pixie said that before we started that we were probably late because Austin was probably talking about some emotional thing that he's dealing with or some shit like that. You bastard. Some feelings. But Fire Pixie's been hot lately, man. Hey, Tim Tuttle, how dare you, sir?
You guys ready? You guys ready to get out of here? It's about an hour and a half. I was just thinking,
ready.
I got shit to take care of. So
I have,
and it's
okay.
like we're.
Well,
I felt like it's a moment.
I understand.
Oh, you got? What do you want to get to?
Well, I had this entire project Spade.
Oh, you have a whole other topic. No, let's. We have tomorrow.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing, but the basically, I could do this rundown very quickly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. It's important because Azov Films it was marketing footage of this child pornography because at the center of the inquiry of this, investigation, Project Spade, there were police in Canada, investigators who discovered that, say, over 348 people were arrested and nearly 400 children rescued during a 3-year investigation into child pornography. And so at the center of the inquiry was a Toronto-based firm that allegedly sold DVDs and streamed videos of naked children. So again, exactly North Fox Island. It's very similar to the Dutroux network because I think that was involved as far as how they were kind of marketing this abuse and the snuff films as well. And so North Fox Island, very clearly they were dealing in snuff films. But these films were distributed in 94 countries, according to authorities. So consider the international implications, the global enterprise that is effectively being utilized at this point. So in Canada, you had 108 arrests that were made, with another 76 in the U.S. and 164 in other countries during the investigation, Project Spade. And so it gets down to the fact that essentially the head of Azov Films was identified as Canadian Brian Way, 42, was in custody and arrested in May of 2011 following the undercover operation. But he was accused of paying people to film the children and, of course, was then charged with only 11 offenses and very, very short, sentencing as well. And the company was subsequently shut down. But they were offering up like specific custom ordered abuse, child abuse so again, this is perfectly in line with North Fox Island, right? They would kind of create that subscription model where based on the tier of your financial commitment, you would gain access to this specific footage. And it's super, distressing because you have school employees from Georgia who were admitting to receiving child pornography, had placed hidden cameras in toilets used by school students, allegedly, not allegedly, this was according to inspectors and investigators. Preschool teachers, right, pleading guilty to producing child pornography while teaching in Japan. So again, international in scope. This is a global enterprise. So U.S. postal inspectors identified and rescued 330 child victims as part of the investigation. Goes back to the 8mm film strips, which is how they distribute these snuff films and this child pornography through the Postal Service. Because undeveloped 8mm film strips, they can't tell what's on the strip itself. So they then will, even if they open the fucking thing, they don't know this is an illegal product, right? And that is the technique. And that's what North Fox Island exposed to me more than anything. I was unaware of that fact. But we could talk about this forever. There's so much in regard to this. So honestly, we could tie this up real quick.
Yeah.
And
Jules, where can people find you at, dude?
Yeah, guys, Great Pilled Pod on Twitter, Great Pilled _podcast on Instagram, Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Still need to get on Spreaker. Gotta nip that in the bud. Patreon.com/Great Pilled Podcast. Got a few tiers. Did a show with Chris from Forbidden Knowledge News last week. I had that on there. About to drop that maybe tomorrow. Just had William Ramsey on. It was a banger.
Hell yeah. Hey, did it help that did you go over some of those membership lists and shit for the Knights of Malta? Did you end up getting to it?
Well, we talked about Crowley a bunch. We talked about the West Memphis 3, 9/11, a bunch of stuff, dude.
He's the best, brother.
Yeah, he's
wind that
trove of
motherfucker
knowledge,
up. He's
dude.
ready
Yeah.
to go. Yeah.
I'm about to order one of his books, actually. So shout out William Ramsey. But yeah, guys, going on Tinfoil Hat tomorrow. Got a couple sound sciences coming up. Shane Cashman being one of them. I don't want to spoil the other one. I think I've said it, but yeah, going on Nephilim Death Squad. I think in 2 weeks as well. So I'll keep y'all updated.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Good shit, brother.
Austin, baby boy.
Man, check out Tinfoil Hat tomorrow. Well, I guess you guys can't, but
yeah,
still, whenever it's published,
I'll give you the StreamYard link. You can join.
right. Oh, fuck. But nothing but love, man, for everybody here. Honestly, this is awesome. I love having this ability to kind of like, just kind of pursue these interests that I've never had that ability or that platform where it was easily accessible and provided the opportunity. So all of you, nothing but love, and follow the Underclass podcast if you can. Support the Patreon. Clearly, I'm attempting to kind of like direct people there more than anywhere else as far as support is concerned at this moment, and also just for incentives being included with your membership. But I will inevitably get out an email to the patrons, especially the Buzzsprout patrons, because the transition is in effect. And so before it officially is over with, as far as the Buzzsprout being entirely, as far as just, I'll no longer be sending anything to that, right? The website or anything. It's definitely going to be, as far as it's being phased out. But beyond that, yeah, follow me at the Underclass podcast, and nothing but love. Appreciate everybody.
Hell yeah. Well, if you guys want to support the show, you can do that. You can do that without giving me money, and by liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all those stuff, helping the algo. Follow me on Twitter too at TowerGangJose. From there, you can tag me and stuff, and then I'll likely cover it on the morning shows. Sometimes maybe even on the Already Dead show. Then also, if you do want to support the show, if you want to support something and get something out of it, like monetarily, you can go to Nadeau Shave Co. Use Jose at checkout for 10% off your entire order. These are far more superior than the multi-blade cartridges. They're cheaper. You're better for your skin. They give you a better shave. It's from a company that doesn't hate your guts. And you can get 10% off on top of all of that. So it's kind of a no-brainer. But also, if you want to support the show, there's also some other incentives you can get out of it as well. But patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. The lowest level is $2. That's where you get the early access to the episodes, which I'm trying to crank it up to 2 a week now behind the paywall. I'm also going to probably have like 2 to 4 that are chilling behind the paywall too. So I have like a little bit of a what's the word I'm for? I can't think of a word in backup or something. Repository. I don't know. Whatever. There'll be a bunch of them in there as opposed to just the one as of now. So there will be more behind the paywall, and they'll sit behind the paywall longer as well. And also, I'll start probably here somewhat soonish for the public, putting out 2 a week as well. So, but obviously the patrons will get a better deal. You'd also be a talking head on Already Dead, as you saw today from our homie Crabman that hopped in. Also, you can get the ad-free RSS feed on there too. The highest levels of my sponsors, I read them off every episode. It's a big old thanks to them. I have my co-host on Tower Gang at Tower Gang Toad. Also have at Abrogate D's. Also have at ZOVRACK at _Zeal. Tim Tuttle at John Klebold. You guys saw him in the chat today. Then Will Bell, Delicious Blueberry Rabbit Eye Wine. Big fan of the show, Torrin May. Then at INWARD Lover. With that, I think that's all I got, guys. We'll see you guys again next week. Same time, same place, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Tuesdays. And you can pop in every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, and usually me or Austin will be doing it. We're kind of basically damn near 7 days a week now knocking these out. So pretty much every day at 10 a.m. Eastern, usually one of us is there. So like 5 to 7 days a week. Every now and then we take a day off. But with that, guys, I guess we're out of here. We're going to be on Tinfoil Hat tomorrow. All of us. It's going to be fucking dope. With that, I'll see you guys. Pop in tomorrow. We'll be doing another one, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you guys then.
All right, everybody.
Bye-bye.